Hello and welcome back to Inquisitor Martyr. Last time we rescued... I can't even remember his name. The captain of the Astute Cavalier. Or no, not the Astute Cavalier, Crimson Wanderer. The Imperial Knight. All these names start to sound the same. But now we have to continue following the trail of Flavius Draken. There we go. I have liberated the occupied command center and rescued Ambrose Caradoc, the pilot of the Crimson Wanderer, a Freeblade Knight. Ambrose Caradoc offered his help, which I accepted without hesitation. His mighty war machine will be able to break through the enemy lines and reach the inquisitorial fortress of Flavius Draken. Honestly, all I could think of was Flava Flav, and I just imagined Flavius Draken, and then it's just Flava Flav in the 40K universe, still with the giant clock. Just be like, yeah, boys! He hits a button and just it nukes an entire planet using Exterminatus. And you just hear the boy echoing as the planet just gets shredded and covered in hellfire. Thankfully we get to use the Astute Cavalier a few times throughout the game, because this is so cool. I love Imperial Knights. I think they're so cool. Like, look at this, I'm just melting these dudes. Ah, it's so cool. Yeah, so recently, I guess 9th edition for 40K, like I don't know if it's a pre-order or what it is, I think it's pre-order, came out, and it's already hard to find or sold out in some places. Because I know Magikarp used Fly, he got into 40K recently. If you don't know, he's just another YouTuber. Also did League of Legends stuff, but he managed to playtest 9th edition, and I guess they made some changes to Overwatch so that it's not, you don't Overwatch nearly as much, which is kind of nice because that slowed down the game a lot. At least I felt it did. So we'll see how that pans out. But I thought that was pretty cool, but I was thinking about it too, because people were complaining about like their local places not having some of the new miniatures and stuff, and I remember hearing stories that Games Workshop will like reduce the amount of like units shipped to your store if they request too many and don't sell them in a timely manner. And I was like, wait, on one hand, I get it. You know, you don't want to be producing unnecessary stuff, but the models themselves aren't what change, per se. Like, yeah, you might, if you get some old pewter Space Marines, they look jank compared to new ones. but at that same time, that's a very minor thing. Like, they can still play fine. And that's what I find strange, is like, if a store isn't selling miniatures fast enough, you should probably be asking, why is that? Is it because the store is just located somewhere where there aren't a lot of people? Is it the cost? Is it the rules that people don't like that confuse them? What's the deal? Because I look at the rules, like, having to measure out everything gets annoying. And there are games like Dust 1947, which used to be Dust Tactics, and was originally put out by, who was it? Fantasy Flight. Before, for some reason, dropping the rights to it, which I think was a stupid decision, but, you know, that's just me. But so, that game was really nice, because everything was a grid. It was like a 2-inch by 2-inch or 3-inch by 3-inch square, and that was the space for a squad. And when you moved, you might have 2 squares of movement, so you move 2 more of those squares in a turn. It's very straightforward, and it's easy to understand. I mean, you look at the cards for them, for the units, and it was very straightforward. It's like, hey, here's this. It does this. It has this range. This is what the unit is. Shut up and be happy. And it worked. I actually really liked it, because I didn't have to sit here and be like, okay, let me get my chapter approved, let me hit Wahapedia, let me check this and this, is this rule in here, how does this function, blah blah blah. I just knew straight up, this is what it does, this is how it works, moving on. And simplicity like that can go a long way to sell a person on a game. Prime example of that is, I wish it was still around, what was it? Not HeroClix, because they're still around. It's Heroscape. That's what it is. Heroscape had a great setup going for it. You know, here's a bunch of terrain pieces, make your own maps. Here's a card with the stats. They had like a kids rule set, which was very simplified. They had the more advanced war set if you really wanted to do wargaming with it, which you very easily could. They had a lot of potential. They showed up, I think, too early in the game. And that was mid-2000s. Hell, back then, they managed to snag a deal and make a Marvel expansion. You could play, like, you could use the Incredible Hulk and Captain America and all that. And I'm thinking, man, can you imagine how good that would sell now? You have, like, a Thanos pack where you can get, like, the Black Order with them. You could have, like, a set that's, like, the Invasion of Manhattan, where Thanos doesn't show up, but you have all the Chitauri on their little vehicles, and some of the Avengers you could use as characters. They could have, like, Rise of Ultron, or Age of Ultron set, where you have Ultron and then a bunch of garbage tier minions he can continually summon. And you could have it with some terrain pieces. He could have an ability where he can summon more of those garbage minions to continually slow down the players playing the Avengers. You could have a rule set, like almost like a deck that you draw from, so that Ultron essentially plays himself, and you don't have to have like one person playing as Ultron to be the villain. Like, there's a lot of potential. I still wish that would come back. Like, Wizards of the Coast sold the rights to it, but I think with the right mind behind it, you could actually make Heroscape a very viable tabletop, I don't know, wargaming game. And I mean, you can effectively not have to worry about what genre, because you can just slap whatever you want in there and be like, it's robots versus World War II Marines versus zombies and orcs. It's like, okay, that's fine. Just throw Darth Vader in, who cares? Alright, that was a admittedly short one, but just like the Baneblade, I like dedicating these episodes to these vehicles. I think they're so cool that they kind of deserve their own episode. I'll admit, I didn't have a lot of information about Imperial Knights. I'm not that well versed in them. Any Adeptus Titanicus kind of stuff, I don't even know if it's Adeptus, it's just a Titanicus, but I'm very sparse on information. I just know there's a bunch of different versions, and they're pretty cool. So, that is all for now. If you enjoyed this episode, please make sure to hit the like button. It helps out the channel a lot. If you are new, please make sure to hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.